Welcome to another edition of Currently in Quincy. I'm Joe Catalano. Today we get an update on Social Security from our friend Kentia Torres. First, though, as always, we take a look at the weather and the news for you. Currently in Quincy, it's kind of gray out there, 38 degrees right now with overcast skies, but we are expecting some sunshine later today, and that'll warm us up to near 50 this afternoon. Cloudy this evening, lows drop off into the upper 30s, and a real mild weekend coming up. I think tomorrow is the warmest of the 2 days. Maybe a shower in the afternoon, otherwise a high around 60 degrees. That would break a record that was set back in 1909 if we hit 60 tomorrow. Little cooler on Sunday. I think we'll have more sunshine on Sunday, though, with highs near 50 degrees and starting to cloud up on Monday with highs Monday in the upper 40s. Looks like a messy mix of precipitation moving in Monday night and through the day on Tuesday. Could have an inch or two of snow by the end of the day on Tuesday. Nothing serious, though. Right now, again, cloudy and 38 degrees here in Quincy. Checking out the news for you today, the next phase of the redevelopment of Quincy Center is moving forward now that the City Council has approved plans for a new medical center. City councilors earlier this week did approve that land disposition agreement. It will allow Foxrock Properties of Quincy to build a 4-story, 110,000 square foot medical office at the site of the former Ross parking garage. Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center has already agreed to operate that new center with a wide array of outpatient services. City Council President Ian Kane says the project is good for Quincy Center.
I know it puts new light in an area that has needed something for a while, so it's continuing to move this downtown redevelopment forward.
The Foxrock did receive a 40-year property tax exemption as part of the agreement. The plans also include a 515-space parking garage and 2 retail buildings. The tax exemption would only apply to the medical building. Construction on the new Quincy Police Station will be completed by October of 2025. During an update on that project to the Quincy City Council this week, project managers said the $140 million project is on time and on budget. Stephen Crucial from the Crucial Design Group says the new building should be weather tight by the end of the year.
I'm going to turn to what's coming up. So as you can see in this picture, the structural steel continues to go up. This is probably about 2 weeks behind where we are right now. Superstructure is currently on schedule to be completed by the end of April. And the reason this is meaningful for us is once we get everything up, then we're going to be able to start closing everything in, which will get us to a point where we're weather tight, and then we'll be able to proceed uninhibited. At the same end of April timeframe, we'll be starting foundations for the garage, which sits behind the new police station. We are looking to have the roof tight by the middle of September, which will then allow us to get the permanent power put in place a couple of months later. This is meaningful because many of the trades, elevators in particular, won't even start their work until you have permanent power in the building. So this is a great milestone for us. Coming into the winter as we're weather tight, we keep going with the masonry facades. At this point, there's framing, there's mechanical installations in the building. We'll probably be at peak capacity as far as manpower at that point, and that'll push right into the summer. We are expected to be 100% weather tight, entire facade and the roof, by the end of March of 25.
Construction on a new parking garage behind the new station will also be getting underway this spring. The new public safety headquarters is being built right behind the existing police station on C Street. That'll be torn down once the new station's completed, and Mayor Thomas Koch envisions a park dedicated to first responders at the site of the current station. The new complex will be home to the Quincy Police Department, the Fire Department Administration, and Emergency Management. Well, the March 5th Super Tuesday presidential primary is less than a month away, and here in Quincy, elections officials are preparing for a good turnout. City Clerk Nicole Crispo says registered voters can begin voting in the primary later this month.
We have set a schedule for early voting as well, which is Saturday, February 24th through March 1st. Saturdays hours are 8:30 to 5 at City Hall, and Sundays hours are 8:30 to 2:30 at City Hall. Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 4:30 here at City Hall. It's been working out great. People like coming here to City Hall to vote. Beautiful, historic council chamber, which works really well. And we'll cordon off some spots out front for 15-minute parking for people to come in and vote early. If you have any questions, concerns at all, please visit our website for this information. We're also having vote by mail, which is certainly available now. You can go onto our website, get the application, get that right into us.
Crispo says mail-in voting is also available. Her office has already sent out 5,000 mail-in ballots to voters. Request a mail-in ballot by contacting the city clerk's office. Mail-in ballots are due back at City Hall by 8 p.m. on March 5th. There's a ballot drop box located right outside City Hall. Of course, in-person voting will also take place on March 5th from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Unenrolled voters must choose a Democratic, Republican, or Libertarian ballot in the primary. Well, finally today, a Quincy youngster will be competing in the New England finals of the Lodge of Elks Hoop Shoot Free Throw Contest in Portland, Maine on March 9th, with a chance to go on to the national finals in Chicago. Michaela Lawson won the district competition in Marshfield in the girls 8 and 9-year-old category after being one of 6 Quincy youngsters to win the City of Quincy championship that was held at the Broadmeadows Middle School recently. The Elks National Hoop Shoot is a free contest for 8 to 13-year-olds held every year. It attracts over 1 million youngsters nationwide. Here in Quincy, State Representative Bruce Ayers is coordinator for the Quincy Lodge of Elks, and he works with Quincy Recreation Director Michelle Handley to sponsor the contest every year. They've done it in Quincy for 30 years. It's our check of news for you today. Coming up, we chat with Kentia Torres of the Social Security Administration. That's next. Welcome back. We always try and get an update from the good folks at the Social Security Administration at least a couple of times a year. And we thought, why wait? Let's bring Kentia Torres, our good friend from the Social Security Administration, into the program early this year. Hi, Kentia. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Thank you for having Social Security here today. I am very excited to bring the information from Social Security, and it's always a pleasure to be here.
We appreciate it as well, and I know our listeners and viewers do too, because it's important information, and it's something that affects everyone pretty much, really, right? From birth through their entire lives. Social Security is with them all the way.
That is right. I mean, when we are born in the hospitals with the Social Security cards or coming into the country as a new immigrant, we have to get assigned a Social Security number all the way to where we start working or attending school till retirement if we don't become disabled between that time. So yes, it is with us throughout our working life, our entire life actually.
Sure, and this is a particularly good time of year, I think, to bring you in because it's tax season, right? And folks have to consider their Social Security benefits when they're filling out their taxes. So what do we need to know about that?
Correct. So we are in the middle of tax season, and I want to remind all the Social Security recipients about their benefit statement, or also known as the SSA 1099. Those who are receiving Social Security benefits, not SSI, I want to make sure that we don't confuse the two. SSI is a supplemental security income, which is a needs-based program. So we do not mail 1099 for those recipients. But if you are receiving Social Security, either disability or retirement, at the beginning of the year, we send the benefit statement or 1099 for you to file your taxes with that. If you have not received your benefit statement or 1099, you're able to still obtain a copy if you misplaced it by creating a My Social Security account. You will have access to that information, which you can either print or request one to be sent to you so that you're able to file your taxes with that information. Now, this is also very helpful to those people who are not sure if they just started Social Security retirement benefits, if they want to withhold taxes. I get that question a lot, like, do I need to withhold taxes from my Social Security? Well, what we always recommend is to contact the IRS and their tax professional, because they will let you know how much to withhold from your Social Security. There is a form that you can download on socialsecurity.gov called Voluntary Tax Withholding Form, W4V as in Victor, and it's right online. You could download that form and you will let us know which percent you would like us to withhold, either a 7%, 10, 12, or 22%. But when you call the IRS or contact your tax professional, let them know that you're going to start receiving Social Security or you're already receiving Social Security, and that in addition to that, you have other income. So if Social Security is the only income in the household, you don't really have to pay federal taxes. But if you have a combination of income, such as Social Security and wages, Social Security and self-employment, etc., you may have to pay federal taxes, and how much will depend on how much income there is and how you file your taxes. If you file single, married filing jointly, or married filing separate, and how much income there is. So again, because we're not in the business of tax preparation, we always recommend that you contact either the IRS or the tax professional so that you can get the best information. But whether you withhold taxes or not, we will send you a 1099 at the end of the year to let you know how much Social Security you received the prior year. And you, of course, may file your taxes and enter that information as Social Security income.
Yeah, that's really important information for folks, because so many people now continue to work even as they're collecting their benefits, and they don't want to get surprised at the end of the year with a big tax bill, right?
Correct. And we get that question all the time. And what we always say is, just double check with the professionals. But if you don't know if you should have taxes withheld, once you get that 1099 and you file your taxes, then you will be able to make a more informed decision for the current and following years. So it's a learning experience for a lot of people, but just know that 1089, which a lot of people, believe me, are not aware, they get it, they put it away, they're like, oh, I wasn't supposed to file taxes with that. Well, now you know, and it is an option, and you get to see if you are due any benefits. Even if you think Social Security is the only income in the household, we always recommend and check with a tax professional to see if there's any benefits due to you.
Yeah. If you're not working, Kentia, if Social Security is your only form of income, do you still have to file that 1099?
You don't have to. It's
Okay.
optional, but if you do, that is what you would bring in lieu of W-4 or any other self-employment income. That's what you would present to as the income that you have.
Okay. Would you be responsible for paying taxes on that if that was your only source of income?
Well, from what we understand, and again, this is not Social Security, it's IRS. If that is the only income in the household, then you wouldn't have to pay federal taxes.
Okay.
But if you have obviously additional income, and what I've seen too in this economy, most people tend to have more than just that income. They may have pensions, and they may have side jobs, or they start new businesses, etc. So it is really rare to see an individual with just that one income. As we know, Social Security only replaces about 40% of our pre-retirement income. And so we usually tend to have other incomes in order to retire and live comfortable in retirement.
Absolutely, yeah. You mentioned you can do all of this online. What else can you do online when you're dealing with Social Security?
Well, I'm glad you asked. There's a lot of different transactions that we can conduct on Social Security. One of them is you're able to check your estimates, so benefits estimates, which are really important, especially if you're planning to retire soon, or you just want to see how the numbers are looking like every single year that you work. Those benefit amounts are updated. There is a benefit screener. So if you're not sure what kind of benefits you may be eligible for, it will ask you specific questions to let you know if you may be eligible for spouse's benefits, for example, or survivor's benefits, or your own retirement. So that is great. A lot of people always ask me, well, how do I know what is my full retirement age? You actually can find that information right on socialsecurity.gov, free, easy to use. By creating a My Social Security account on socialsecurity.gov, you're also able to not only look at your benefit statement if you're receiving benefits, but also your earnings statement, which is very important. And we highly recommend that you look at that statement, even if you're not close to retirement age, if you're still working, to ensure that all your earnings are correct, right? We do not want to wait until you are about to retire to learn that you're missing wages, but also to ensure that the information is correct and nobody's working under your social security number and that everything looks good. But if you have an account, you are able to get an income letter if you're receiving benefits right online. You wouldn't have to call us or wait in the office for a while. You could also get a letter saying that you do not receive benefits. And this is important for those who may be applying for loans, where some banks may actually request this information. But also if you're retired and you're planning to live outside of the country, you can opt to get direct deposit, you can change your telephone number, your bank account information, and also you can opt to get every single copy that we send to you at home, a copy of that into that account. So you could be anywhere in the world, and we send you an email to let you know that we're trying to communicate with you. So there's a lot of businesses that you can conduct with Social Security at your fingertips as long as you have internet service 24 hours a day. But one of the most popular ones is your Social Security replacement card.
Yes.
And as we are in the middle of tax season, there is a way for you to replace your Social Security card without ever having to speak to one of us or come into the office. Of course, we love to see you, but we know that you may need this quickly. So there's actually a Social Security card screener as well. And it's going to ask you, are you a U.S. citizen? Do you know your Social Security number? And so many other questions. And you can literally apply for your Social Security card straight online. And it's going to take about 7 to 14 business days for you to receive your card. But also, if you're applying for your minor children, you may be able to start the application process. It's going to let you start that information. And if you need to bring any information into the office, like original documents, it will let you know how many days you have to bring that in. And that also expedites the process, because instead of having to come in without knowing which documents we need to see and having to come back another day, you will already have completed the application online, and all you have to do is just provide that information. We go ahead and verify that we saw everything and process that request. So that is very hot right now, and a lot of people are applying for Social Security cards. So that is one of those benefits. But I also want to mention too, that you can actually get your Medicare card replacement right online. And that is one that we get asked all the time, like, how do I misplaced it or I forgot it. That is another way for you to get your Medicare card. And one of the most popular feature is you're able to apply for Social Security, retirement, disability, and other benefits right online. And so it takes about 15 minutes to apply for Medicare and about half an hour for Social Security retirement. And most people that have applied online, they tell me how easy it was and how much more comfortable it was, because they didn't feel overwhelmed by getting bombarded with questions like sometimes they feel when they're on the phone or in person. So you're able to take your time. You get a re-entry code where if you can't finish the application in one sitting, you can go back later on, get all your documents, let's say your DD-214 or that marriage certificate, and feel confident about the information that you submitted to us. But also, if you apply, let's say, for disability benefits and that application is denied, you can actually file an appeal right online. Usually you will get 60 days, and instead of having to wait a month or two to appeal, you could actually start that appeal right online. And when you apply online, you get an automatic application tracker. So if you wanted to know what the status is, it will be almost like a lot of pizza delivery services that use a delivery tracker. You will be able to see the stage of your application. And if you're missing any documentation or if we requested anything, it will let you know exactly what it is that we're waiting on. So there's a lot of nice features and a lot of things that you can do online.
So conversely, Kintia, are there things that you cannot do online with Social Security? When would somebody actually have to come into the office?
Yeah, so for example, let's say if you're getting a Social Security number for the first time,
okay,
that would be something that you will have to, especially if you're migrating into the country for the first time, that you have to come in. Let's say if somebody lost their Social Security card or there's fraud, we want to see that person to complete a fraud investigation and to obviously get the identification. There's some states that may not have a contract with Social Security yet to verify the IDs. And so when you do the screener, it will let you know if your state is one of those states that actually qualify or not to do it online. So those are some of the special occasions where you may not be able to do it online. And of course, the screener will let you know if you're able to do it or not. But at the very least, even if you're not able to do it online, it would allow you to at least complete the paperwork so that you can have it completed right in the office and again expedite that process.
Okay. Now, do you still require an appointment for an in-office visit, or can you just come at your own free will?
Great question. So if you are going to ask, let's say, how to replace my Social Security card, for example, or about Social Security estimates, or what does windfall elimination provision mean, Anything like that, yes, you could just walk in. We'll be happy to see you. But if you're planning to retire or apply for disability, which usually could take, an hour or two, depending on how many doctors, hospitals, medications you may have, that gets a little bit trickier. So we will always try to see you if we can. But at the very least, we'll answer all the questions that we can and then schedule an appointment either on the phone or in person for another date where we have someone who's waiting for you. Because remember, when you walk in, we already have scheduled appointments for that day. But we always want to help you in every way that we can. And of course, come in if you need assistance with anything, even if it is to schedule an appointment.
Okay, and I know there is an office right on Hancock Street in downtown Quincy that's very active, and folks I've talked to have used it, have had a great experience there, and it's one of the more active ones, I'm sure, in the greater Boston area.
Oh yeah, no, thank you for the good feedback. So they're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 p.m., but I just want to let you know that even if you are not able to say to go into the office, we do have a national 1-800 number that opens Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. So even after you leave work, you can also call and schedule an appointment or get a lot of these questions answered. And that number is 1-800-772-1213, 1-800-772-1213, and we'll be glad to help you. And even if you speak another language, we always have interpreters that we could call and assist.
Oh, I'm glad you brought that up. I was going to ask about multi-language availability, so that's good to know. Kentia, can we talk a little bit about the quote-unquote COLA adjustment for 2024, the cost of living adjustment for Social Security?
Yes, so about 71 million Americans have received COLA, which is a cost of living adjustment, and it was implemented, at the beginning of the year, 3.2%.
Wow.
And the purpose of COLA is to ensure that Social Security benefits are not being eroded by inflation. So, the Department of Labor Statistics and the Department of Labor, they look at all the inflation and all the numbers, and they come up with this number to ensure that we're still able to purchase and live with these benefits. And so, yes, many Americans started receiving SSI benefits with COLA included as of December 29th of 2023. And, we have to check every year to see what the amount it is. And, we are still paying that, and it will be reflected on your 1099 when you get those statements at the end of the year as well.
Okay, and do you know, does the COLA adjustment cover any increase in Medicare, or is it kind of a wash, if you will?
Well, Medicare did increase.
Okay.
It's $124 per month, and it was less last year. But there is assistance for those who may have low income and resources. So especially if you are receiving our other program, the SSI, which is a supplement, the state of Massachusetts may assist to pay for that Part B of Medicare. And also there's assistance through the state to help you pay for the prescription drug plan Part D. And so there is assistance if you aren't able to pay for that. But yes, that actually went up to $174.
Okay.
And depending if you have a higher income household, you may actually have to pay a little bit more for your Part B and Part D, in addition to the standard amount.
Sure. Unfortunately, we are in the age of scams, Kentia, and Social Security is not immune. Unfortunately, what are some scams that you're watching out for and you want people to be aware of?
Well, the first one, I want to recommend that you do not carry your Social Security card with you, your wallet, your purse, and your person. Most of the time, you will not really need it unless it's something specific, like if you're applying for a new employer with a new job, or if you're signing up for insurance. Most of us tend to remember it, but if you need to take it out for that, we recommend that you leave that with the important documents at home, away, including your Medicare card. I know that we changed the Medicare card from the Social Security number to a generic number, but we want to make sure that that information is safeguarded. So that's the first thing. Also, Social Security doesn't just randomly call you. Usually when we call you, it's because you contacted us a lot of time to either find out what the status is on your application or to ask us for questions. So we're usually returning your phone call. So if somebody's just randomly calling you and telling you that your Social Security number is going to be suspended, that's a red flag. You want to make sure that you hang up and that you call us directly at either that 1-800 number or your local Social Security office to see if someone from here is really trying to look for you. A lot of the times that is not true. We tend to send you a letter first. So if we're going to call you, we'll say, hey, Mr. So-and-so, Miss So-and-so, we're going to be calling you on this date, and we give you a time frame. So that's the other thing. If you feel that it's a scam, please do not continue with a call. Hang up and call us or come into the office. when we call you, we already know your social security number, so we will ask you other questions just to verify that you are who you say you are, but we shouldn't be asking you for your social security number because we are Social Security and we have that information. But you know, sometimes people are vulnerable and they may give their information. If that happens, you could call us and report it, 1-800-772-1213. But the best way to report any scams or any information is by going on our website, socialsecurity.gov, and reporting it through the OIG department, or also by calling your credit bureaus and blocking your credit. And if you think that somebody is actually working under your Social Security number, which happens, make sure you come into the office and file a report so we can contact those employers and let them know that someone other than you is working under your Social Security number, and we can remove those wages from your wage report, and also to allow that employer to correct that situation that's happening. So yeah, making sure you, 1, save your information at home. 2, do not respond to anything that may seem concerning if you get a weird phone call. And 3, report it to Social Security and contact your tax bureau so you can block your credit.
Kentia, it's always great to talk to you and get some great information out there. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you very much, and I hope to see you next time. Thank you, guys.
We'll hope to have you in the studio sometime. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Just enough time to check the forecast for you for the rest of the day today. We hope to see some sunshine later on this afternoon. Temperatures should climb to around 50 degrees. Looks like a decent weekend. It'll be warm tomorrow, cloudy with a spot shower possible, but look at tomorrow, it's high near 60 degrees. A little cooler on Sunday, still pretty nice, and some messy weather moving in Monday night into Tuesday. Thanks again to Kentia Torres for joining us from Social Security. Thanks to our crew. Thank you for watching. Monday here on the show, folks from the Quincy Symphony Orchestra will stop by to update us on their 2024 concert schedule. Meantime, visit our website at qatv.org. You'll find our latest programs. There's news and information, video on demand, live streaming, and much more. For all of us here at QATV, I'm Joe Catalano. Have a great weekend.